There is a song that is trending. No turning back. No turning back.
Sincerely, I know you are very much aware of what has been trending, so you're not coming here with a novel mindset to what I'm discussing. Yes, Gaise, Baba, and Lawrence Oyor, they have been trending after I can never turn back. Oh. I've already gone too far. Even the song, of course, is finding its way into clubs. Watch this. Now, I've seen all the criticisms. This is not the only video I'll be making about it, but I need to address a couple of things as this whole trend is becoming quite significant. I have to wait for some things to die down a bit before I come with probably an argument. It may be superior, it may be underior, however you want to put it. Oh yeah, let me see some people now start manifesting in the comments. Aye. Those who don't understand, you understand. How are you people doing? So, I'll be looking at the wave of criticism that has come on this particular song. Even I myself have my own criticism as well. Oh. Hey! They would chew me raw. But let's look at some facts, of course, I would say. Now, where the main criticism that has come out, at least a significant area, is from the Bride's Assembly. It's a particular church headed by Pastor Moses Alu. Some of you, if you have watched me long enough, you know that time that he had his whole situation with Pastor Damina about baptism, no baptism, and also recently when he had a situation with Ebukobi, when Ebukobi was talking about the Theotokos of Mary and he was coming with his own, you understand? So I understand, I've known the ministry for a long time, but of course, if you have been here with us long enough, it's facts over what? Somebody can complete it for those who are just passing by. Let's go on.
For whosoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he shall come in his own glory and in his Father and of the angels. That is the cost to follow Jesus.
Now, please, you have to know that I've watched this entire sermon in full context. He was preaching, or the title of the message, Spiritual Amnesia. So the whole idea is that people have forgotten, you know, probably the spiritual traditions they once held up to, or people have forgotten who they are or who they should be in Christ. So I just had to look at the context for which was trending, because for me, I will never jump on short videos. I'll go to the cocoa. So let's continue.
Denying self and picking up the cross. But as a result of amnesia, Christians of our generation are following Jesus without a cross. Oh, Jesus, I'm following you. But they are following him without a cross because they suffer from spiritual amnesia. You can't come to Jesus and live anyhow. That is the meaning of denying self, taking up the cross. There must be a difference between a disciple of Jesus and one who is not. But so far, I just follow him and he accepts me anyhow I want. You think you're fine. It's not true. There is a cost though.
Note that the name of the song is, No Turning Back, and the chorus is I have decided to follow Jesus. So it makes sense why he had to go do his research, watch the trending conversation to rhyme it with his message with respect to what he was teaching, for it to, cook very well. The soup has to be done. So if you get the premise of what he's saying, yes, of course, daily we should carry up our cross and follow Jesus. But what does that really mean in context? What does it mean for you to carry your cross and follow Jesus? Again, the next video, we are going to be looking at some really scriptural context, of course, of some references he has made. And some of you would regret why this whole trend even started, because we are now going to start doing scriptural exegesis, of course, like we do when trending situations come around. But let's go on.
There is a song that is trending. No turning back. No turning back. And this morning, because I'm going to make a comment on it, I checked the viewership of that song. The views on YouTube is over 4 million now. That is not what it will cost you to follow Jesus.
That is not what it will cost you to follow Jesus. What is the that is not what it will cost you to follow Jesus? I'm going to play it as well because some of you have watched it before you came here. So if you are talking about the cost, are you saying that in his mind it's going to be that the song itself is not what it will cost you to follow Jesus? We'll get to his criticism, but look at what he capitalized on, the viewership of the song. If you have been here with me long enough, those who are just passing by, hello, how are you? We can say hello to some of people who are just finding this community. Yeah, welcome. Okay, calm down, calm down. There's something we always say here. Attention is currency. Relevance by association. I don't want to go further before. We always say that spirituality without common sense is amplified stupidity. But I don't want to go there before some people will say, hey, George, you are trying to be... But at least just focus on those two. If this song did not have this much attention as it has now, this wouldn't come. And then, of course, even I even saw that even Jesus is part of his name, according to how his name was mentioned in the video. He wouldn't come and be, making it a subject. Just so you know, this song itself had been released a year ago. What you see now,
our spirit is gaining strength. God can now use us to touch lives, even people that you have not met physically. As you are praying in tongues, child, you are leaving the limitation of your flesh.
You get the point now. So it's on a song. Now, this probably he never even knew of the original that has been a year ago, which maybe didn't have so much attention that it came onto his face. But now, of course, this is trending and has so much attention. What do you expect? So it is normal. For those who might be saying, oh, it's witch hunting. No, it's normal. Once blow, don't worry, make you blow. You go know whether you go blow. Somebody will come from your village and say, since he has been making money, he has not built the house in the village, oh, he has not tarred the street, oh, the tap in his house, his father's house is not working. Blow, don't worry, you will know that you have family and extended family everywhere. So it is normal. So he is now, first of all, you will say, oh, is Gaise Baba in his community or Lawrence Oyor in his community? He's speaking as a concerned Christian. So let's give him, of course, here a bit of slack. He's speaking as a concerned Christian coming from a particular school of thought. Maybe later we'll discuss what their church, call, would I say, foundational precepts in their community. That are part of those community, cover hair, don't wear this, don't wear that. That I don't want to use the word, will I say, holiness preachers, because you say, of course, we should be preaching holiness. I've talked about it, of course, here many times when it comes to our conduct and how we live as believers. So I will not use those particular things. But when I say that, of course, you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so let's go on, of course, to what he says. Him checking the viewership and seeing the attention it has. He doesn't like the idea that it is having so much attention because of what? Let's go on.
By singing, I have decided to follow Jesus. What pains me about that song is that the person singing the song is contrary to Jesus.
What pains him as a person? Now, this is not on the basis. See, when you want to speak, if you have watched me, of course, for a long time, you know that if I want to have an opinion about something, I will give you a factual basis for that. So this is his own personal opinion, based on probably, I would say, his school of thought or the background, of course, he comes from. He's saying what pains him as a person. So he is pained. He has seen the song, he is pained. What is paining him is about the person that is even singing that song. Let's go on.
I have decided song that if you know the story behind that hymn, you will cry. Because it was an issue of life or death. Deny Jesus or we kill you. And the song came out of the person.
No fear of God anymore.
I have decided to follow him.
Okay. Now, at this point, first of all, the story that he's talking about, I can give you an idea of the story, is being told as a legend. And you can go and research about this, but I can give you a concrete place you can go and watch, or would I say, read up about the history of that particular song. First of all, you are lying. The person himself did not sing the song when they... Just think about it. If brain is sitting on your head, Think about this now. According to the story of the song, okay, that is being told about it, which is not a historical fact, but it's just like how we have folklores. Come on, look at Nigeria now. They always say that Nigeria play ball with, is it India or China, and they score 99 goals and it remains.
Sometimes I wonder what our forefathers could do if they had internet or social media back in the day, because without internet and social media, but they were able to convince about 5 African countries that we all played a match against India and the scores was 99-1. The location of this match, nobody ever knows. And about 5 of these African countries, every one of them have a different story. But the most consistent thing you hear is that the ball, anytime they play and it's coming to the keeper, it will turn into a flaming tiger or a cooking pot. And then the keeper will dodge the ball and it will enter into the net. That's how they scored the 99. And for the one person who scored for Ghana, even as for him, after scoring the goal, he died on the spot. We all believe this story. They were able to spread this story across Africa without internet and social media.
Look at my
Back
face.
in the day, the only way they could disseminate information was either by newspaper, gossiping, or the gong beater. Just imagine what they could do.
You remember those stories that they used to tell? You know, say it not happen. Sure, you know. It plenty many of those stories where we say they just tell us, say they just like how you watch Shaolin soccer. The truth of the matter is that if you, let's say we are taking the story that he knows he's trying to make a reference point to, this is how the story goes. There's a man whose name is Noxing, okay, who after receiving the message of Jesus and accepting it,
And that was a kid. Man, I've sung it so many times, I never knew the story behind it. Did you know where that came from? The wording from that came from India. After the Welsh revival, there was a missionary that went into northeast India, and while he was there in northeast India, he began to share the gospel, and there was a village that had never heard the gospel, and they were very, very violent people. And this father and mother and 2 boys from the village received Jesus. They said, "We will follow Christ." When the chief heard about it, he brought them out in front of the whole village, and he said, "You've got to renounce this new faith, this name that we've never heard. You've got to renounce it." And the father stepped up and said, "No, I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back." With that, the chief gave the command, and the 2 boys were shot with arrows. As those 2 kids are lying there in the dirt, dying, the chief looks at him and says, "You've got to renounce this faith." And the father said, "No turning back. Though none go with me, I still will follow." And with that, the chief gave the order. The wife was shot. So now it's just the guy. And the chief said, "I don't understand. You've got to renounce this faith." And he says, "The cross before me, the world behind me. I have decided to follow Jesus Christ." They shot him. And the testimony of history of that village is that they all, because of this couple, wanted to know more about Jesus, and the chief himself became a follower of Jesus Christ, and the whole village became followers of Jesus Christ. All because of one man, one family, one mother, 2 boys who said, "We have decided."
good. Now you have seen the video. Please go and do your own research by yourself. If you like, add ChatGPT or whatever, but I'll tell you where you can find the information. According to records, historical records, as a fact, it is not believed to be an historical fact of it happening, but it's a story that developed as a result of the song's widespread, of course, which accompanies it powerfully in people's mind as a memory behind it. The person that developed the song, I'll get to show you the person or what is happening around the person. The original writer of the song, he's actually a Baptist missionary that went to India, and that was where the song actually came from, his own writing. But something interesting I will tell you about the song towards, as we finish listening to our preacher here, is what people have to really pay attention to as we discuss about this whole Afro gospel situation with what his main problem is. Okay, so number one thing I want to say that is a lie here is that the person did not sing the song at the point of him being martyred, because there's this whole misconception about the martyrdom story being the source of the song. So it's not as if they want to kill him. He say, I have decided to follow Jesus. So, and they just shoot him arrow, pia, and he died. No song came out of the person. Okay? So the person did not sing any song. Just assuming that particular story itself is like true, okay? The person that wrote the song, his name is Pastor Simon K. Marak. You will see the person as we get to go on. But do you understand what I'm saying? Is it making sense? So the person didn't sing the song, okay? It was written by a pastor who was a missionary to there. There's even a bit of a confusion if it was Pastor Simon's Marak that wrote it or Sandhu Sundar Singh. Now, those of you who are probably follow the person of Sandhu Sundar Savaraj, the beard, I think I've talked about him once. I've met him, of course, before, personally, when he came to Lagos. He's normally always talks about his stories about this meeting Moses, all of that. He is someone that is an ardent follower of Sadhu Sundar Singh, but I'm not talking about that. I don't want to go into those stories now. But what I'm saying now should make sense to you. And the reason why I believe in Jesus, just for in case there are unbelievers watching me right now, is that Jesus is a historical fact of someone that walked this earth, died and resurrected. So I don't believe in Jesus because he's just a fable or because it's a folklore or something. No, he's an historical figure that walked this earth. Does that make sense? Those who are still arguing about this one, don't worry, we'll get to this one. Those who are new that are still wondering, hey, hey, let us confuse them. This one is for confusion. Let's listen to Oga.
That is a song that believers used to sing. And when they are singing it, they remember when Jesus said, he that will come after me should count the cost. Which of you intending to go to war will not sit down and count the cost, that do I have sufficient army, do I have sufficient military power to defeat the enemy that is coming? I want to build a house. I will not sit down and count whether I have enough money in my account to finish it. When believers used to sing that song, tears came out of their eyes. It's a song that never grows old. It's a song that never dies, because it is a song produced by the Spirit of God.
I'm glad that he said one thing. It is a song that is produced by the Spirit of God. I will tell you something, sincerely speaking. We receiving Christianity, accepting it and holding it to a high esteem, has a lot of Western influence. So what we call Christian song has been defined by the template that we do know. The template you and I have been trained and accustomed to. I've told you people many times, I am Orthodox. In my mindset, there are some things I will walk into a church and I see it, my body will be doing me like this. I cannot, because train up a child in the way he should go. So when he goes, he will not depart from it. The way you are being trained, the way you have been groomed, that's well defined. It takes a lot for you to have a shift. That's why I always tell people, those who have come from the other faith to come to Christianity, I have more respect. I think I said that about 2 to 3 years ago. For them, compared to those who have been born into like the culture and have all been Christians right from birth. I'm telling you, sincerely speaking, because it takes something really remarkable for you to have that shift and really coming to Christ as well, from a personal decision, coming from a different path of life to this particular life. Note something before we get to continue. We are in the world, but not of the world. We are to go into the world and preach the good news. Not for us to wait for the world to come to us. That's not how it works. Does it make sense? We are to go. So if you are sitting there waiting for the world to come to you, Oga, you will just be recycling members from one church to the other. Thank you very much. Are you getting the point now? Let us go on.
A true believer that has met with the Lord, when you sing that song, something rings inside you. Because as you are singing it, you are counting the cost. I have decided to follow. You are counting the things that you left behind. You are counting the things that you are suffering for remaining with him. That's the song that has turned to a vibe song. No. And you need to see the young man that sang it.
Before we go into the young man, do you know that even the lyrical, do you know that the rhythm, the sound of that song, na 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 na, do you know that that particular sound, that rhythm, is not an original? He even said that the person sang it. It's not an original, even though it was composed by Pastor Simon Marak. It doesn't come from the original of the song itself. It was superimposed on a rhythm that already existed in the Indian folklore. It was just taken and superimposed upon it, and the people themselves sang it based on what they were familiar. It's called the Assam. What I'm saying now, please go and research it. Don't talk. I don't speak. I don't come here to make noise. I come to make sense. The song itself was formed on an existing rhythm that the people themselves were familiar with, the Indians themselves were familiar with, which comes from what? An Indian folklore rhythm called the Assam. It's a particular kind of sound. Okay, so superimposing that, of course, made it easier for people themselves to accept it and, of course, get to sing it because they had the reference point. Now, look at the domination of that song that you that is watching, and probably this pastor, the reference point he only knows about the song itself is what he knows. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. But he doesn't know that that particular song came from a sound. The lyrics was superimposed on a sound that already existed, that the Indians themselves were familiar with, but just that they sang it in a different way. As we get on, of course, you get to see, even as I discuss it from scripture, for you to understand what it takes to actually shift a culture, because Gaise Baba sees himself to be a cultural architect. So for you to be an architect, you are, hey, Gaise Baba, look at the way I'm discussing about you as if I have known you for how many years? I don't know you that long. I've known you since you started doing Black Fame from Nedu's podcast. I'm like, okay, I don't know this person, but you be like saying, hey, day, Twali, those who are hating Gaise, calm down. I'll probably give you something to hold on to. Okay, but we have to amplify. My job here is to face facts, no sentiments, and whatever I say, go and fact check me. So it's just for you to understand that. So you see, he comes from the idea of what he knows. He just woke up to know, I have decided to follow. If he knew the reference point of that sound that just superimposed that particular lyrics, he will not be saying this. But again, because of the motivation that is coming from his worldview of piety, morality, and all that, it now leads us to the next thing, of course, he's going to say. Please, let us listen to the man of God. Bawado.
Nothing gospel about it. It is an attempt of Satan to water down a gospel song like that. It has turned to vibes. And when I got home after consecration hour yesterday, I saw an interview of that man on Channels TV.
Oh, he went out to watch interview. So he said it's an attempt of the devil to water down. Now look at this. For the composer of the song to superimpose the lyrics on an existing sound, for it to be relative, of course, to the people themselves, for which called from a Baptist church, of course, to go and evangelize, we can say it is an attempt of God to water down an existing sound that exists. And then what happens? Of course, amplifying the message of Christ. That is very wonderful, because God is supposed to shift cultures, supposed to come and dominate. You know, one interesting thing is that he is now speaking of this particular sound or this song. Oh, wow. This song, he now knows of the song itself, like critically. What if this whole thing, or this, because we'll get to the vibe aspect, what if this is just for us, just to remind the world of this particular song? I have decided to follow Jesus.
I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided. I have decided to follow Jesus. The good news.
Do you know how many musicians? Do you know how many people have sang that same song, both in a cappella, both in you know, guitar. Do you know how many I have decided to follow Jesus that have been sung by people? But you can't reach the one where we say African sound is used. I'll get on to discussing about the sound, the genre or something. Now maybe you no see the other one. The one where you see now, the one where we say at least the trend for Africa, the trend for Nigeria. Calm down, my holiness audience. Calm down. We never even start. Okay, so he is saying that the person himself, appearance-wise, doesn't represent Christ. We'll get to that point. But let's follow him chronologically. See that I'm talking. If you vex, because this video has been trending. I'm not here to come and play video. I talk as my rebuttals are getting into my mind. Because some of them are gonna go come for conversation to talk like say, I come here to come do like this is not Facebook. Oh. As if I'll come and do like this and be watching, do like this. I beg, I they talk for here.
And that's what he was saying. He was saying, wow. They have not brought Dunsin to interview. Because they are not going to interview somebody that is singing. I have more than a song. Today, I brought myself. Unbelievers cannot relate to that.
Oga, so you watch channels, you watch allies, you watch television station that is for unbelievers. Because that is what you are trying to paint, that the news stations are for unbelievers. Hey, how did we get here? Please, those of you who are watching this channel, probably, of course, this channel will be said that it's for unbelievers. I beg, no even follow me. I know they even say follow, subscribe, no follow. But let's just look at the fact of the case. This Dunsin that he just mentioned now. Now, I'm not going to say that Dunsin co-signed the song because he could be like, say, hey, this is Dunsin and Gaise Baba, of course, after the song came out.
Help me celebrate Gaise Baba. I've been a fan of Gaise Baba for many years. Are the keyboards working now? You're wrong. Many years. From our Hutu show. If you don't know that song, don't worry. Gaise Baba didn't just happen yesterday. They don't take. When you see people, don't just say, when did he come? He's been there. We celebrate you, sir. I can never go back. You see, I can't recover from that part. Even my children, when they ask me for something, I say, I can never go. God bless you, sir.
What did you see? By now, I think this man will be turning. He will be tumbling. They will be tumbling on their bed. Hey, he go depend them. Why would Dunsin himself even be singing the song in his church? Vibes. Some people, I give for a kick mentality. It is well. It is well. But I'll get to my point of criticism. So let me just really amplify this because I have to speak based on what I see. But note the point I have made right now. So the Dunsin here, because every time people always use Nathaniel Bassey Dunsin to do example, I say, this is who you are using to do example. If you know what, make you no talk. But that's just an example to show you. Even
they can't relate to that. But you see that vibes. They even have the dance. You are seeing them. It's vibes. No, and then it's rapping. It's rapping. And then they say they are chanting. You are seeing youths that don't look like Christians. They're the ones dancing that song.
Okay, how does Christian look?
There are some stories, if I told you, it would be hard for you to believe.
We are interviewing the video. Let's go.
So they brought him to interview him. This song is going viral. You're the happening musician now. Gospel. That is not gospel.
Okay, let me correct you. When you say they brought him to interview him, this is not the first time he has been on channels. Do you know? Don't worry. It's channels that will call you, of course, because you are trending. It doesn't mean that channels cannot call Dunsin or call other people. The main thing is that would they probably accept to go there?
If it is gospel, it is another gospel, not the gospel of our Lord Jesus. When people think I have decided to follow Jesus, it is Luke 9:23 that they remember. There is a cross to carry when to follow him. Young man is singing, he has decided to follow Jesus. He's not carrying any cross. Rather, a yellow dyed hair.
Oga, Hey God. You see, before I make any video, and I think I was teaching that in my course recently, and I want to say this here. Before you make any video about someone or react to someone, sit down and listen to them. How you get to know somebody is when you listen to them speak. You can gauge the person's. I don't think this person here, maybe the only time he had listened or sat down to listen to him would be maybe the interview he saw. I haven't saw one other human being on Instagram who played the same interview and was talking about his hair. His hair, the way he appears. Even the same person. Some of you, if you are wise, you know who I'm talking. If you have been, okay, some of you will not know. The same person played the video of Pastor Chris. When Pastor Chris was talking about music ministers. He just sat down like this. He played a video. He was doing like this. When he was talking about music ministers have become these, they go into the world, the way they sing. And the same person was coming to talk about Gaise hair, Gaise Baba's hair. But Pastor Chris, on a makeup, Pastor Chris used to do Jericho. He used to do fry. He used to do a fry. I don't know how you call it. Ladies, help me in the comment section. He used to fry the hair. Even sometimes, Paul will say, imitate me as I imitate Christ, But I'm not saying that they're imitating him as he's imitating Christ. That is his own personal disposition. But many of the pastor that is close to him, they also do fry. So that frying that they fry, they even dye the hair black self, no. Because our guy is always looking young. Glory to God. But you get the point. So what standard? Because the issue is with the color. The way they color the hair. We'll get to when we talk about color. We'll get to talking about color. Don't worry. This was our podcast video. So hey, everybody is collected. Make a note. I don't want to give my audience a clue. Make you not be like say I carry person for mine. Sometimes I see some things I keep quiet. So according to this, our pastor here, of course, he doesn't. It's another gospel. Let's go on.
With chain, with all manner of jewelries.
So actually, their fault, of course, is when it comes to jewelries. I beg, not even go there. But later we'll talk about these things in a different video.
Then he's giving them vibes. He's giving them vibes. Song has been watered down.
Oh God, I seen the talk, but seen the sleep for the inside though. If I say I see person, why did you? Cameraman, stop this thing. Why you go video mommy? Mommy they smile. You come video mommy, video sister where they sleep for back. Sister could be like say, the message is not messaging. Preach Christ, preach Christ. Please forgive me. See, me and my community here, if you are watching for the first time, no the vex for comments. I can smile, I can, let's go.
Song has been watered down. Then they're just singing. I have decided you need to see it. Go on. After service, go on YouTube. No turning back. That's the first song you see. If after today's service it might have increased to 5 million, only God knows. It was 4.9 million views.
Now it should be 7
under 8
million.
days. But after service, check our views on sermon.
Now waiting the pain or God with this. Don't worry. This one, you see, you did not even expect that you will go viral like this. Who was even the person that went and caught that video, this video, and post it everywhere, go viral? Because even when I went to go and look at this video, the video at least he managed to get 1,100 views. I was now asking myself, wait, there are some people that are like me that will see short video and they will go and watch the main video just to get the cocoa. So those people, you are my community. This was an issue for him that they will preach. Let's play it again.
But after service, check our views on sermon. Behold the Antichrist. Only God knows if you see up to 1,000. Check our songs. Our choir did our songs. That will nowhere stop my weakness. Only God knows if it has reached 1,000. But you see that one?
Oga. So if people think that music business, I think I've discussed about this before. When it comes to the. So listen, whether you are charging or you are not charging or you are a worshiper, so far as your song is on Spotify, Apple Play, Boom Play, wherever played it is, Oga, you are in business. What matters is that let us invade those spaces with the sound. Yes, of course, you get to make money from it. You are recognized there as an artist. If you like, be minister based on, okay, minister. Over there, inside that app, you are seen as every other person when it comes to your presence there. You are getting your revenue, of course. Look at when we were discussing about Messi Chingo. When I hear money, you do not for ear kind. You understand? But we have to always face the fact. So when it comes to music, Oga, I know say on acquire don't do, see, these people, they are not operating more like in the career you are operating. As if you have watched up to this point, just write in the comment, Jesus is Lord, so that we know those who got here. But also, after this video, the video is still there, we still they go somewhere. Make una kuku find their channel, Bryce Assembly. Make una just watch one video, comment there. Oh, we have seen this video, so that they go give views, so that in go at least happy say people they see waiting then they do. I know how it feels. Even the current movie that came out recently, Prophet Suddenly, was amplifying that idea of having views, to it being that, you know, God is working with you. I have been on this space for a long time. There were times I had to have 2 views, 3 views, this and this. What matters is that this YouTube algorithm, it finds its own audience. Everything happens for a reason. I believe that anybody that sees my video is because they were supposed to see it. If you stumble upon my video and watch it, it's because you were supposed to watch it. So when we start doing this whole numbers thing to do comparisons, no. Let God be God, let man be man. Do what you have to do with respect to your skill and expertise as well to promote your song. You think they will just put out the song and then go and say, no. Let's go on.
Because the people want to follow Jesus without a cross. People are just looking for a brand named Jesus to follow. No. You are never going to enter heaven because you call on Jesus. There is the right way to follow him. And Jesus made it.
You will never enter heaven because you call on Jesus. Reminds me of the man that was on the cross with him. I think that's the person that will be really shocking to people when that time comes. All he had to do was just tell him, Oga, Alpha, I beg, remember me, Ogwana. He doesn't know. I was even looking at our Oga's shoe all the while. His shoe is very nice, that shoe they do it, it has shine, you know. Now Jesus, they make me shine, you know. Shine, bobo. Hey, see so way enter my head. And they see shine for sure. And that one na Christian song, big me person know. Some things people don't understand about music. Because he likes Dunsin very well, I'm gonna play a video of Dunsin after this one. Because he likes Dunsin very well, I'm gonna play a video of Dunsin after this one, so that if he's watching, he will listen to what Dunsin himself says. Music is very powerful. See, as I did here now, just look at his shoe, shine shoe. He put the I don't see what I remember. Shine, you know. That song will be say, if you ask me who sing them, I don't know. How it take time, I don't know. But you see one thing with music, just imagine that you are somewhere and maybe you're about to do something that is not okay. Maybe you are just about to bow a door and you remember that you were just dancing yesterday. I have decided to follow Jesus. It will just play in your mind. Because when it comes to music, it has to come in a way you accept it. That deposit there can trigger something in you and you'll be like, wait, let me think about it. Some people will hear that song. DJs will just use that particular part that is trending because DJs like to work with trending sounds. And they will listen to it in a club. Okay, what is no, I will never go back. Oh, wait, let me go and please, what is the name of this song? They will do Shazam. And when they do Shazam, because DJs will intentionally cut the part that maybe will not mention Jesus. I know them. I used to have a roommate when I was in Ghana. I don't want to mention his name. He's a big man. He's a big DJ now. My roommate Ganga. I know when he's in the room, you know, arranging his tracks in his this thing. What guy like this? What's up? So I know how they intentionally get to pick the highlight part of the song. Just like when you want to post music on Instagram with a picture. Instagram will show you that this part is hot. Select this part. People like to play this part. But you will hear it inside club. Maybe you haven't been in church for how many years? You hear it inside the club they play it. You say, oh, I like this sound. I like this sound. No, I will never go back. Oh, it's already been too far. Maybe you might have heard it there to be like, oh, okay, it's already been too far. You don't hear the Jesus part. You Shazam the song. You now go and look for it and you now hear, I say, wow, this song is a Christian song. Then it now makes you reflect. Listening to the lyrics. That song is lyrically pure. If I say except now, you don't want to make billions. You say prosperity. You don't want to spend for Jesus. You want to raise the dead, of course. You want to heal the sick, of course. But you get the point of what I'm saying. Let's go on.
He said, enter into that straight gate. Follow that narrow gate that is very tiny. Because not everything can go through it. But alas.
Follow that narrow gate that is very tiny. Hey, Gaise Baba. Even Gaise Baba lyrics, make I read Gaise Baba. Gaise Baba is I like that guy. I want the two talks I like person. I look at the lyrics. Because, hey, analysis won't finish me for here. Gaise Baba say, I go narrow. Them things say, I don't know road. I go narrow. Them things say, I don't know road. You get some kind of things so be say you go they do. People go think say you don't know how far. But you are intentionally going the narrow path. This Gaise now, I was listening to his testimony. That I don't know whether Oga has Kwaiko, but that one is not my business. Okay, I'm not coming here to come and sit down and judge. But when I listen to him, I can see a sense of genuineness when it comes to his convictions. People have said that the way he speaks against pastors, that is as if he's. Anyway, we'll look at those conversations later. But we'll listen to him here. It's as if even Gaise himself saw this coming. But let's finish with this man before I show you Dunson and we go on to Gaise.
As a result of spiritual amnesia, what we have today are Broadway Christians. Anything goes. And you think Jesus will accept you. There will be a great disappointment on the day of judgment. It's not the unbelievers that will be disappointed. It's those that called on Jesus and thought they were serving him. Then the person that he featured, let me not mention their names, you're on air. The one that was chanting, you know what he's doing now? Putting band and is praising God. They are forgotten where he says that he that prayeth or prophesieth with his head covered, dishonoreth his head.
What a man is supposed to wear. That particular band on the forehead like that to the back of his head is not something that is male or female. It's not something that is it's not something sexist. It's not something that is for a female. Just a band that he has around his head. Not as if he's covering his head. That is why if you see the Messianic Jews, of course, they use the kappa to cover their head. Like you see probably the Catholic cardinals, of course, they use the kappa. Okay, they will not call it, of course, that the kappa to cover their head. Do you understand? So when it comes to that, of course, it's a bit debatable. But I think he just needed to have a reason to really criticize him, because again, if you're criticizing Gaise Baba, it has to rub off on the person featuring him. And many people, of course, Gaise Baba wasn't called out or and all of that. If he's in his mind, an unbeliever is making a false confession that they have decided to follow Jesus, then of course it's quite interesting. So he has to rub it off on Lawrence Oyor, which I understand, but that particular covering that he has is not a covering on his head. He's just putting a banner, of course, to show what he represents, which is probably his own personal thing that maybe makes him stand out. Not that he's a twin. You know, probably when you see him and you see that banner on his head, you should not confuse him for the other one. Maybe. I don't know if two of them wear it. I get in the point now. But let's go on.
They have forgotten amnesia.
Yeah.
God is calling us in this generation to wake up. Because he wants to heal us of our amnesia. If I ask you, who are you? Not many people can answer me. I mean who you are as a Christian. If I ask you, what are you raised up for? Not many people listening to me now can answer me. So far, Jesus is protecting you. You think that is all? May you not call on Jesus and end up in hell, because it will be painful. I have nothing much to say. I'm only calling your attention to what is going on and what many Christians are suffering from. Don't continue in the condition called spiritual amnesia. It will destroy you. And you know what? Members of Bride Assembly Church, we are also suffering from amnesia.
Okay. Let us just watch him give them some more woto, or would I say reprimanding, before we now get to doing something, okay?
In fact, our amnesia is serious. Members of the Bride Assembly Church all over the world, we are suffering from amnesia. Let me show you the amnesia that many of us are suffering from. James chapter 1 from verse 22. James 1:22. Okay, now it says what? But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Go on.
So what he went on to do was reprimand them that they all hear what they teach, and then if he sees them outside, maybe in the church, they'll wear long skirts. When they go outside, they'll be wearing tapasen, or when they're on social media, they'll be wearing something else. Now, this cup, of course, some of you have seen me talk about it. It has been here with me for years. At first, let me just talk to you guys about this before we get to go on. On the first view of looking at this, you are seeing, what are you seeing? You're seeing beer. You're seeing alcohol. We talked about drinking or alcohol as well here just a while back. If Christians as well should drink alcohol or something and all that. I've seen some people making some baseless nonsense argument that is not even scriptural, I would say. But this is not in any way me drinking beer. When I started creating content on this platform, I wanted to really test the mind of Christians. And people judge me and call me names because of this cup. But it was very intentional. This is how this cup itself is. Let me finish what is inside. And I always like to use it for illustration. So the cup itself is an illusion of what it is that it is not. Sometimes you don't judge something by its color when you don't even know what is inside. Someone can be looking so sanctimonious, but if you know what those people do behind the scenes, you will weep. I have been here. I have seen some of your apostles, pastors, ikuwa na akwa oborota, but yet still they are heading churches. They are heading. People call them Papa. Even sometimes the people you revere so much, if you know the things that they do, not something they did, the things they are doing now, you weep. You say, this Jesus not real. And talking about Jesus, before you start criticizing and saying, let's read something about Jesus. I saw a human being on Instagram criticizing Gaise Baba because of this video. Please watch it.
I don't take alcohol. But I know alcohol is not a sin. But I don't take alcohol. Because by spiritual discernment from my own assignment, I picked it like 2 years ago that I shouldn't take alcohol. Right? But I'm in gatherings where people take alcohol. And I see absolutely nothing wrong with what they are doing. Because they don't have my assignment. They don't require my consecration. I cannot place the demands of my consecration on another man.
Okay. When he said, of course, he doesn't have, and I'm not saying this to promote alcohol. I took time, of course, here to really explain that concept in a short video. I don't make short videos these days. I make long videos. Let's read Matthew 11 from verse 18 to 19. When Jesus was facing misconception. Now we are entering Bible small before we start listening to Dulce. Now only my people, they watch reach here because here we tried to make sure Matthew verse 11 from verse 18 to 19. This Bible, I dey travel out of this thing, Nigeria. And this Bible cover the KG. This Bible heavy, I know they carry out play. Now my friend with this. If nonsense still won't enter my brain, like I say, okay, make we the think together or make we the look akukwanso. Look at this. This it is even written here in lead. Okay? And then let me read from verse 16. Or let me just read because there was this opposition about the person of Jesus, okay? Because at that time, of course, Jesus was teaching about the kingdom. Let me start from verse 7, okay? When they look at your Bible. As John's disciples were leaving, Jesus began talking about him to the crowds, about John the Baptist. Note when we looked at the concept of spiritual covering, we studied the person of John the Baptist in that video. Those who have been here longer, please catch up with that video because tomorrow we are going to build up on some other subject. What kind of man did you go into the wilderness to see? Was he a weak reed swayed? Was he a weak reed swayed by every breath of wind? Or were you expecting to see a man dressed in expensive clothes? No people with expensive clothes live in No. People with expensive clothes live in palaces. Were you looking for a prophet? Yes, he is more than a prophet. John is a man to whom the scriptures refer when they say, "Look, I am sending my messenger." Note this particular word, messenger. We are going to discuss about it when we look at the subject of head covering, no head covering. Very important. But you will understand as we get to go on. I am sending my messenger ahead of you, and he will prepare your way before you. Verse 11. I tell you the truth, of all who ever lived, none is greater than John the Baptist. Yet, even the least person in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he is. And from the time John the Baptist began preaching until now, the kingdom of heaven has been forcibly advancing, and violent people are attacking it. For before John came, all the prophets and the law of Moses looked forward to this present time. I'm reading this for a reason. I'm not just reading it for... And if you are willing to accept what I say, he is Elijah, the one the prophet said would come. Anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand. To what can I compare this generation? It is like children playing a game in the public square. They complain to their friends. We played wedding songs and you didn't dance. We played funeral songs and you didn't mourn. So, by the way, as well here, we can make music, of course, that are for weddings. I don't, when it comes to the judgment of secular songs, okay, you have to look at the message behind the song. That is what is most important. What does the song itself glorify? Does it glorify carnality, or is it just a simple, clean song? There are many clean songs out there. But if you want to be in cloud 9 every day, please be there. I will never stop you from being on cloud 9. For John, listen here, for John didn't spend his time eating and drinking, and you say he is possessed by demon. The Son of Man, on the other hand, feasts and drinks, and you say he's a glutton and a drunkard, and a friend of tax collectors and other sinners. But wisdom is shown to be right by its results. But wisdom is shown to be right by its results. The Son of Man feasts, drinks. They called him a glutton. They called him a drunkard. This is Jesus. So they called him what? A glutton, and they called him a drunkard. This is Jesus. So they even called him Beelzebub at one point, that he was walking by the power of the devil. This is Jesus, so your savior, the person you look up to. Am I trying to say you should go and start to be drinking? You don't have to. That he was even moving with tax collectors. That's why a pastor will come and say that Jesus hates the poor. That is why he was visiting tax collectors. But without seeing the purpose, the wisdom behind it, repentance. Paul would say that I may even win some. We will go there. Let me not go there yet. But Jesus says here, but wisdom is shown to be right by its results. A wisdom is profitable to direct. Wisdom is shown right by its results. You don't know the effect of what it is you are doing until you start seeing the results of it. Because the results will tell of what motivation or what drive, what is going on. So as you sit down in your high horse, general overseer of judgment, even myself, they call me judge. I have known this. So most times when I get to discuss about trends, I'm always thinking about what is the result. That is why I always look at facts over sentiment. Because I have to build a community of people that would always be able to pay attention to fact without any sentiment at all. Not because I'm loyal to this person or I'm loyal to this person. Some of you are accepting this song because you love Lawrence Oyor. Maybe Gaise, but I don't even know him like that. But you know Lawrence Oyor. So for him to even be accept to collaborate, to you understand? That means some of you will accept your pastors moving with some people because for this my pastor to be moving with this person, cosign. But it's not really all about that in the real sense, but looking at the result, what is it birthing? One thing, this song, if you are discussing in context of what you are looking at now, I just wanted to show you that even Jesus himself was drinking. It was not water he was drinking. Sure, you know. Why would they even look at him and call him a drunkard? But he did these things. Like Paul would say that he had to become many things to many people. But to the weak, he had to appear weak that he may win some. Our template is Jesus. My templates can never. But you see, when it came to Paul, for Paul to say, imitate me as I imitate Christ, then they did not have the scriptures so like we have it right now that we can read without having Paul, Peter here. So Paul could confidently say, model me as I'm modeling Christ. At least because you can see me, it's easier for you to have a very good example than someone you haven't seen. Do you understand? That's why I understand where the pastor himself is coming from. That's why I understand where the pastor himself is coming from. He would not want his own followers to model Gaise Baba because of how he appears. But hey, there are people that are in the world who have lost touch with church and I don't even want anything to do with church, that will look at him and be like, oh my, if you walk up to this guy, tell him how far now, because the way he appears, the guy they coded. But again, what is inside? What is filled with this person? Because you are filled bad. Yes, of course, the Holy Spirit transforms. But in the end, of course, what defines? On what yardstick do you get to define how a Christian looks? Come on. Even common sense as well should teach you. And one thing you notice is that Gaise Baba is a very wise person. From the way I look at him. Because I think I was telling you guys that, of course, on my recent live stream. Let's go on as well to look at what Dunsin himself says. Because when it comes to a man's appearance, and I just compared him, of course, to, let's say, Gaise Oyakilome, and do you want me to start comparing him to other pastors that you hold to a high esteem? We're not going to end this video today. But the point I'm trying to make you understand right here is that, talking about that hair, even Gaise Baba himself talked about the idea that the hair motivation came from, someone that he admires in Arsenal.
Only Arsenal fans understand it. That's the club me I support, so I know it.
And it was like, wow. And you see how he was even honest about it. He would say, a worldly person, a footballer inspired you.
Yeah, talking about the Arsenal player, yeah.
When Arsenal bought William Saliba from, I can't remember, it was Saint Etienne or something. And I just saw the guy when we bought him. So I love this guy's hair. Wow. He just had this. It wasn't exactly like this. So I've had a journey. My hair has gone through a journey. So he had this, it was curled, and then it was like gold tint was going through black. It was just black and gold. He just had this really curly and really cool feel. I was like, I like the hair. So we were approaching our 5th year in marriage, my wife and I. Wow. At the time, this was 2019.
My God.
So I told my wife, I was like, what do you think? I like dye my hair. She's like, no, I'm not agreeing. I dropped it.
Really?
Then she wanted us to do a photo shoot. 5th year anniversary photo shoot. I'm not a fan of photo shoots. My wife can do 2 photo shoots per month. Right. So I'm like, we're clocking 5. We have to do a photo shoot. I said, I'm not doing it. She said, babe, please. I just had that brainwave. Like, idea. I said, okay, you know what? I'll do this photo shoot.
But you let me.
Dye my hair. She goes, okay, all right, dye.
Are you serious?
I never turned back since then.
You know why I asked?
Yeah.
The color of your hair, has it been part of the basis for which church people judge your music?
Well, No. I don't think it is a basis for which they judge my music.
Do you feel you have the acceptance that is required in church?
One, I do, but even if I didn't, I would not. That's the honest truth.
You're not moved.
I will not mind. The reason why I can say this is because there was a period when I wasn't. And for maybe up to 2 years, I didn't have any invitations from church.
After dyeing your hair?
No, before that, my hair, this had nothing to do with my hair.
Okay.
And I don't even think it had to do with like church like that. And I'm even going to that a bit.
Please go.
So this was around between late 2016 into like 2018, 2019, right? And my journey has been very God-led. I believe it. And I believe that God made me go through those wilderness years so that I'm not at the mercy of any man pastor or not. So I'm not.
Yeah, get that.
I'm not. I have gone through 1-2+ years without a church invitation. I didn't die. So I know that I can lead a solid life without being invited to church to perform or to minister, like churches like using the word minister. Right? So I'm not scared to go through that again. If you understand what I mean.
Get you perfectly.
I'm not, how do I put it? I've been weaned, WEAN,
yes,
of dependence on church invitation. Right. It'll be cool to get it. There are many artists who are having a great time, and it would be nice to have it. But I do not, I also believe that because of my work and because of my assignment and because of what I have to do, I have to be prepared. I have to be unafraid of losing that or of not having that. Do you understand? So there was a period when that wasn't happening. It was around that time, like I told you off camera, when God then started sending me to secondary schools.
Yeah.
So I started organizing concerts in secondary schools, went to my alma mater, King's College, went to Queen's College, gathered young guys. A good number of these guys are now like big Afro gospel acts now. There's hardly any currently big, maybe Prince, because Prince is in Port Harcourt. But any big Afro gospel act from Lagos has gone to a secondary school with me.
Let me keep this on the side, because somebody might cut this video now. Maybe they are watching it somewhere. They will look at this and will say, "Hey, Drake, yeah, whatever." You know they had these people. But you get to the point now. You get. But this is something he also had an agreement with his wife. Okay, so some of you remember when Moses Bliss. Some of you might remember when Moses Bliss had his. I don't know if it was his birthday celebration or something, and Great Man Takid had to minister while Dunsin, of course, was present there. This is what Dunsin himself said, because that pastor that was using Dunsin as an example. Let's listen to the, Dunsin.
Surprising. I just wanted to surprise him, and he's pushing me to do this, but I mean, happy birthday to you. Such a joy to be here. Before I even start, we'll just watch it for a few, and then I will gladly just calm down. Please sit down. Sit down. I believe the Holy Ghost will want me to say this. And I'm telling you, with what I've heard, I open myself to hear different kinds of music intentionally, so I can have a better view.
I open myself to hear different kind of music intentionally, so I can have a better view. Remember what I always say? I have to listen to you to really. If I do church like this, wahala. You understand? Wahala way me I dare now serve. Now God they carry us, they go gradually small. But it has always been the same principle. Let's go on to what he says.
With what I've heard tonight, you are sitting on a dynamite. If you plug, no, it's not even to shout. If you plug into what the Lord, you see, a man of God told me exactly 6 years ago, and that changed my life forever. He said somebody came in and spoke to him and said to him that we can't remember the messages of John Wesley, but we remember all his songs.
I think it was when Gaise Baba had an interview with Bucci. He also mentioned about this with John Wesley and the Methodists. Music is powerful. I think that's what he's trying to talk about here. Let's go on.
So it tells you that songs have lasting impact.
True.
With people. If I ask people now who went for service this month, because not everybody went for service. Hello. If I ask people who went for service today, what was the preaching? You may not be able to remember. But the song sang, you can remember. Now, he said that to say this to me then. He said, if we preachers pray for 6 hours, you better pray for 8 hours.
It's just like how the pastor that was criticizing Gaise Baba, he could remember Dunsin's song. Yes. And he could remember No, even though he hates it because of You know, how would you feel listening to Dusin, of course, speaking like this and commending one of the Afro gospel personas, Great Man Takit?
Because of what you carry more impact. You see, I've been, Great Man, we recall this conversation. There is something that you guys are sitting on. I'm telling you, is potent, is powerful, it can change the world. I'm telling you.
He knows what he's saying.
Just let us plug in more into the spirit and do some very intentional work. And you will see the heart of men begin to align. You can take over that space.
You know the space he's talking about? We'll get onto that, of course. So when he speaks of that space, that is not his space when he's kind of music. Some gays will call it temple music or something, which people will always use him as an example. How do you expect someone that has been used to listening to this kind of music, and that is what they are geared to really blend in, of course, to it will take time, of course, for them to be blended to, let's say, Dunson kind of music. But if we are now trying to influence that particular setting, what is going on? I thought we were supposed to be equipped to become, of course, vessels unto God's honor. Where it would become a problem is where even the people that are going into the world to make an impact, you understand, gets corrupted and then choked up, of course, by the word. When the Bible talks about the sower who went out to sow, the ones that are eaten up, the ones that actually have roots, the word itself is all should not come and then rip them apart. That is where also he talks about that intentionality, of course, that prayer. Prayer. It's not easy as well to be. You can't even talk yourself. A good say as I just be God, say me, I just, let's go on.
Permanently. And you will see the heart of men begin to align. You can take over that space permanently. Sila. I just wanted to drop that. I'm so blessed just hearing, hearing Great Man's lyrics. God know the flesh, kill him.
You see what he's focused on? He's focused on the lyrics. He understands the sound, but he's focused on the lyrics. What is the message of a song? What does it glorify?
I'm telling you, because there are some people that will not listen to people like us. They will listen to people like you.
He knows it. He knows. There are some people that will not watch somebody like me. They will watch somebody like me. I'm not this kind of person that compares myself to people. I believe I'm in my own space. I'm in my own world, I would say. But there are some people that will never watch someone like me, I would say, because they say that I am Antichrist. Abi? I beg you, if you believe that too, make sure they follow me quietly, because wahala for you, I know they there.
There's some people that will not listen to people like Frank Edward. They will listen to people like you. So the earlier the better you realize that. And something about the devil is that he takes you more seriously than yourself. He knows you before you. He already knew what you are going to do before you knew yourself. So he takes you more seriously than yourself. There is so much power in what you are carrying, and I'm just grateful to God to hear the things I'm hearing tonight. In a few minutes, can we make up our mind to let Thanksgiving rise?
Okay, pretty much amazing, and that was stunning. This video done the long now. People go vex. I never ever enter to talk plenty other things. Maybe say I don't write. I don't react too much, but we go still look. When we look at the Afro gospel, I'll make another video. But let me just play this video of Gaise Baba. Next one, of course, I'll look at Great Man Takit, Gaise Baba again. We go do plenty video be that, because matter done long, video done long. You see, I don't talk plenty enter. Let me play this video by Gaise Baba, as if he saw this particular situation coming. Listen to this. Maybe the pastor might need to hear this one, or that's community.
Do you believe there's anything called mountain of influence?
Yeah. And you don't even I don't even think you need to rise to the top of the mountain to start influencing.
No, you don't.
Like wherever you are, right? So that we don't think like you have to become this huge person
before you do something.
Before you can influence. Because, okay, let's say next year, and by next year I mean 2025. I've seen so many 20-something. I don't even know which 20. 2025.
Yeah.
Something huge happens.
Yes.
Right? And okay, the impact that I'm making now becomes visible to many.
Yeah.
People will define that. Is that time that people think I'm making impact? Bro, babe, guy, daddy, mommy, I've been making impact for years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether you see it or not.
Yeah.
We reached over 30,000 teenage and preteen students.
My God.
For God. We've done 22 editions of Light Out.
Wow.
Organized 22 concerts in secondary schools since 2017.
Wow.
Won some to Christ. Gotten some to commit to the same covenant of purity that I committed to not have sex like I got married. Which is in line with the culture, the values. And you know, I said Afro gospel is African creatives taking the gospel, the message, and the culture of God's kingdom to the West. Is tripartite.
My God.
You cannot carry the gospel and not carry the values of the kingdom.
Yeah.
The values have to be consistent with the gospel.
With the gospel.
That's what makes up the culture. Culture is a way of thinking. I believe that Christ is an ideology. I see Christ as an ideology. That's what I want to introduce to Africa. Christ, not in terms of religion. Christ as an ideology. Christ as a way of thinking. Christ as a way of being. So it's not something you do when you go to church, when you go to your entire life. 360 degrees. You live Christ. That's what it means when he says it's no longer I that lives, but Christ that lives through me. It's an ideology. It's an intoxication. It's an indoctrination. Your entire thinking. You don't have the mind of Christ. That means I'm not thinking as a candidate.
No.
I begin to think as Christ.
As Christ. He invades you.
Is that level of experience, that level of being, of executing, of if we get to that point, you'll see that this continent will change. There's too much darkness in Africa. And Christ is the light that will liberate this continent. It's Christ.
You're saying what you're saying with so much burden in the heart.
God put it there, man.
So clearly you see him talk about the whole sense of people might think he just arrived or he's just, making impact now. The person that was criticizing him, at least we have seen in this video, is looking at his virality for him to be preaching another gospel. So he's making a negative impact. But probably he doesn't know that the person he has been around for a long time. Let me play a video, of course, I got to find. Probably this will be the end of this one. Because, hey, George, waiting they do me on long videos, I never know. Let me play this video as well here, so you get to see at least something that he had done when it comes to his persona or what he's been doing. Just an example as well. These are young people. And this one, I think I found it quite inspiring. Watching it, let's listen.
Second edition of Light Out, and we are live at...
You see this? Look at the boy. Look at this boy here. The boy that is on the left here. You see what he's doing? He's doing some signs. These people you see here, you think they don't see all of these TikTok, this and all of these things you see these rappers do like this and they will do like I say me, cuckoo, me, I don't understand. But you see, social media now is something else entirely. Look at that one. He may not even know what he's doing. He may be the gang boy of the school or something. What do you think will make you actually be able to gather these people together or something? Do you understand? For you to be able to really instill something in this student, it will take grace. But let's go on.
Hey everyone, my name is Tommy Olympio, and I was here today at the concert. The concert was really, really amazing. For me personally, I liked it. The main part of the event I really, really loved was when the university students came to come and sing. To be honest, her rap was amazing.
One hand on the Bible, I'm not innocent. When people try to accuse me of being different, since I called upon your name and you came to my rescue, Jesus, you're my refuge in times of pain.
So I think he when he was talking on the interview, I saw I saw the word apostle. I would like call him apostle. They cannot talk because he might be. I love the way he said that, because he said that people are being cooked. So people, artists don't just come out like a tornado. Some of them are being prepared. Look at, okay, let me delve a bit, of course, into something secular here. Remember the song that was sung by, is it Bob Marley? I don't know. I've forgotten. Diallo, dilalo. People were criticizing, I don't know what they call him, Weezy and Aira, because they use that particular line, Diallo, something, that it was it was an issue that they didn't project the reference point of where that particular name became popularized. You see, it's even happening in the Second War. So it is normal that these things happen. They say that they have changed the message. But again, of course, right here, most times for a sound to connect to people, have you not been seeing what has been happening recently? I think the sound of Salem, da, 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 da. That one, of course, when it came out, there were some similarities, like it was said with the beats to some beats. You know the song, I no go talk. But at least the lyrics was original. Nothing was as if it was probably copied from somewhere. You know, the only issue that they have with this song is because of that particular line that has a reference point. Anyway.
I'm Magdalene Okrikri. I'm the secondary school principal at Greensprings School, Anthony Campus. Greensprings School, it's a school that is child-centered. And by that, we basically mean the student is at the heart of everything we do in school. So any investment that is towards motivating the students to try to get the best out of them, for us, is a worthwhile investment. I mean, being at the concert, what I saw was using music, spoken words, as avenues to motivate students to sort of look at how to use their talents and their energies in a positive way. So I think that is something that every school will want to achieve in their students, especially secondary school students, where you have a lot of things that is competing for their attention.
A lot of things that is competing for the attention, yes. And look at him here, of course. I think at this point, he did not dye his hair. Maybe if he came like this, Oga Pastor could have accepted him or try. But even Gaise is very smart.
Not on this flow to spoil your show. It just hurts to see these precious beings trading their values for worthless things, for cars, money, blinking blinks. They subject themselves to sinful things. Now when the deed is done, in the morning, your eyes clear. After the minutes of fun, why not treat them like jewels that they are, not like the drinks that you consume at the bar. She's not a house and you the landlord. All that you do, you give account for. Besides, you got to be careful too, because a girl can also be a devil too. Sent with the aim to distract you from seeing the bright future in front of you. Huh? Yeah, now she's got cute lips, nice hips, and she flips on her hot legs, and you're thinking what you're going to do if you sleep around all your life. What would you have left for your wife? Like slaughtering your future with a knife, it will be your fault. It could be for life.
Me, when I was in secondary school, they didn't come and teach me this education of Oringo education. But thank God that Akwụkwọ nsọ. You see that? Now there's something I observe. You see, when Gaise Baba, I never understand why he do that. When he went to sing that song with is it Agbara, the one with Mike Bamiloye's son. Oga, it's like you didn't dye your hair, yeah. So he understood the community he was going to, and he didn't dye his hair in that one. His hair was black normally. He went and renders his part, because that's also one thing. He understood the community he was going to. He was featured on a song, so he respected the community he was going to as a feature and what they want. That's what I would think. As you can see playing on your screen, you say, not be the same Gaise Baba with this. But there's something that he said on the podcast. Should I play this one? Maybe I'll play it somewhere in the next video. The video done too long already. If that is here, is what will bring more attention, of course, to the song.
Yeah. The song was recorded. First of all, shout out to Gaise Baba. Song was recorded last year. I took the opportunity of recording him when he came for another project. So, yeah, recorded him because Gaise Baba is an amazing artist and a music minister. So, would I have done it again if it was after this song? Probably yes, still. But yeah, that wasn't the reason.
It don't work now, be say it don't work. No be so. We dey watch this video now because of that. What is one thing we have to learn from this conversation here is that Gaze Baba himself has been on this journey for a long time. He has a passion for young people who are probably going astray, who may not really get it and they get to miss it. If you look at the video, of course, the music video, what you saw were mainly young people. Those young people may not even, that story I told you is a legend. It's not a historical fact that it happened, but it's like a folklore that is being told over time due to this popularity of a song as it came and it was recorded in America and people started embracing it more. If you go and do your research, of course, you will come back and tell me that what I'm saying is true. Do you understand? The song, of course, and I said I was going to show you, here is the person that composed the song, not like him, but they were the people in the community for where he composed the song, raised a statue for him. So the Baptist church, of course, a Baptist church, they did a statue for him last year in honor of him, Simon K. Marak. And let's listen to, of course, let's just see something that is going on, of course, about that. So the pastor himself, maybe he has to correct himself about that. Okay, it was a pastor that composed a song from that particular area, and then he was known for that song. So when he got back, of course, to the US and all of that, the song became viral until we are talking about it as well today, years later. So this church, of course, they were celebrating a statue that was raised in honor of him. This was it as well, unveiled outside. Okay, yeah, recording. Pastor said that you people should be crying. Stop recording. So we the Christian community, we plenty. So this is the statue of late Simon K. Marak, was unveiled by the former General Secretary of ABDOC. So the unveiling, of course, his statue, at least to remember him and his missionary work, of course, to that particular region. Okay, so I know Nigerians will not know this one, since no turning back don't enter trend. Make we understand, make we know what thing that happened for other places. Okay, so this is it as well here. Missionaries, of course, they list different missionaries that came to them, and they're more like, appreciating the work that he has done, and it's over 150 years. I think that is what I just saw there, and that is the person that composed that particular song. So what are we supposed to learn from here? If we have to, if you look at the song itself, how it was composed, like I mentioned, it was a superimposition of with a reference point that people were familiar with for it to be what it was. I'll continue with this because we had to look at maybe something more historical till now. What I prepared to talk about in this video, I'll only talk about just because I'm reacting to Pastor. Just talk about small parts. I didn't talk about everything. Things plenty where we go look at too, and we'll also look at Bible. They don't give me work now. Family, we are going to analyze. If you met me for the first time today, welcome. Welcome. My name is George. Like, George, you see there. I've been around for a long time. Hey, see you in the next video. Make una come. The video where we do about church spiritual covering. Plenty of I don't watch them. Maybe plenty people go watch this video. I know. Maybe I don't know. If we reach like 5,000, 10,000, I don't know. But anyway, we'll see again. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided. Following Jesus is a joyful thing. To follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. Be joyful in the presence of the Lord. Be joyful in the presence of the Lord. No be say every time where you cry, where you do a goosebumps, me say something is working. Be joyful in the presence of the Lord. Hey, me, I cannot sing to save my life, I know. Make I just sing the one we all know. I have decided to follow Jesus. Hey, everybody gonna say we need to beg. Let me come and be going,